Yeah, I think we have everybody here. I will call the meeting to order. Roll call, we had better, actually I have it taken electronically, so
Okay,
we should be okay.
okay.
This meeting of the Ripon Area School District Board of Education has been properly noticed in accordance with the open meeting law and state statute 19.84 and related legal references. Our district vision, one of Wisconsin's finest school districts, fostering excellence for all through innovation. I'm assuming nobody has anything on the agenda that you need to change the order of. So we'll just take it as presented and move on. So we have the first action item that we need to take care of before we interview candidates for the vacant position on the school board. It's to consider approval to hire a Ripon High School Assistant Principal and Athletic Director. Could I have a motion to put the item on the floor, please?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, now we're going to have to do this voice vote. Should I still record the? I can record
You
it.
can still record it.
Yeah.
So
that was
you have to let me know who you're going to choose for that second.
Nate.
Yes. Okay.
And second, who was the quickest voice?
Nicole.
Nicole.
Okay.
Thank you, Gary. I've been doing that too.
All right. Is there any discussion?
How many days is his contract? Same as what Bill's was?
It's a little different. We aligned it with the other administrative contracts so that there'd be consistency because of the number of days and things during the school year, but we are cognizant of the load during the school year to balance that out. But I did put it in the memo so that it would show kind of what it's been. And the issue that we were, kind of the reason it came up, it was actually, Karen brought it up, was that when we run the teacher calendar like we do, if there's extra days, we usually pay those out at first payroll in September. It just seemed like if he was in and doing work in the summer, that we would just start that payroll and start work. So it's about a difference of about 8 days. That between he and Bill, I think they can work out or flex, you know, because it's a lot of extra hours during the school year, so. Did you see, or do you want me to just, I've got the memo here, do you want me to just recap
That's
it?
okay, that's okay, Mary.
Okay,
You sent it to us, like,
I did, yep. It's the second, it's on the agenda. Yep.
I think the memo also said that there wasn't much of a difference financially.
There's no difference financially, but it is, there's a difference of, I think it's like 8 days.
8 service days?
Yep, 8 service days that are difference. And so that's where, you know, Bill's worked that schedule, so I think between he and Vince, they can work that out too. But it allows us to just have him start on July 1st and move forward.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? You want to add to that, Tom?
should we mention the guy's name?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And where he's from?
The motion is to hire Vincent Propson, I believe that's his name.
Mhm. And he's currently
Was
working
Randolph,
in Randolph right now.
and has also worked in Fond du Lac.
And he did ask if he needed to be here, and I just said, you know, all the extra days that we pulled up here to be here and interview, I said that he didn't, but that we would certainly set up a time for him to be here at a board meeting so that all of you would be able to meet him. But he's very excited about the position, and the interview team, selection team are as well, so.
So are you ready to vote? Okay, we're going to do it with a voice vote because we don't have enough electronic machines here. So all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? All right, he's hired. So the second item is interviews of board vacancy applicants, and we have 3 applicants. Do you all have questions? Copies of the questions? We didn't decide before who was going to ask the questions, so why don't we just pick out 4 people to ask questions, and then we chose a random order for the candidates, for the applicants. So Rebecca Reinhardt is first, and Lori is second, I think. Is that what you were told?
I
did. Oh,
We were told.
Okay. And Denise Martinez is third. Okay. So, normally we clear the room, right? Maybe one at a time. So who would like to ask a question? You can see the questions here. You all have a copy of it?
Oh, that's one.
Lori and Denise, would you guys like to sit out in the commons where you can have a seat and relax, and then I can come get you?
Are you interested?
Whatever, we can all take turns. There's plenty.
Yes. Doesn't have to be the same every single time.
Yeah.
Okay, who'd like to ask question number one?
Hi, Kevin.
Nate, I'm just going to put names on these so I know what's happening. Question number two.
Oh,
Question number three.
I think Josh will read question number 3. I'll do number 4.
All right, welcome, Rebecca. So, Nate, would you like to
If
bring her
we can
forward?
have you move up to the table and you can sit in your chair. We'll make sure that we can hear you then. Welcome.
Okay, first question, Rebecca.
Yes.
Why are you running for school board? And what motivates you to want to become a board member, and what has prepared you for this?
Well, I like the idea that people that have handicaps, they sometimes can do a lot more, achieve more than what others had ever expected of them, and that's what's happened in my own life, and I, in a way, helped out my own husband. He was in 5 foster homes after his dad died, and he only had an 8th grade education because he's the oldest of the 6 kids. He wanted to take a full responsibility, and within a year, that's when 3 fosters, 3 adoptions happened, and he worked at Brooks Industries and the temp agency. He didn't really have the people encouraging him, saying, get a GED or something like I did with my epilepsy since age 5, and I got as far as associate accounting degree. So I want others to keep moving up in life and overachieve beyond others' expectations and have a caring feeling for these people.
Okay, thank you.
What do you see as the board's roles and responsibilities, and what's the most important responsibility of a school board?
I want to see them get all their, excuse my voice sometimes, it's my thing going off.
We'll get you some water.
there you go.
Thank you.
Sure, you're welcome.
Would you like me to read us the question?
Yes.
All right, we'll give you a chance to take a sip of water first. Okay, so what do you see as the board's roles and responsibilities? And what is the most important responsibility of a school board?
To see that the kids are getting the proper education, that they have the basics, reading, writing, arithmetic, and history. So I want them to think more of those type of classes than the extracurriculum, the choice of sports. Yes, we should have fitness, but do it for the reason of our health rather than the reason of showing off that we're real fast at running or something else. That's what I see as the most important, is to think of all the curriculums that, where does a person want to go in life? How do they want to move up? And just find out where they want to be. That's what I did with my husband when I helped him, so he'd work beyond camping, workshop places, that we were able to get a house of our own, and we already have it paid off. So,
how would you describe an effective school board member? Specifically, how can you contribute to a successful board meeting?
the successful person thinks more of the kids they're sponsoring than to just be satisfying what I want. I think of what they want. Give the most authority I can to helping them.
Okay, Ms. Rebecca, the last question. Do you believe you should support a board decision that you are not in favor of? And if so, are you able to support board decisions that you don't favor?
If the majority is on a certain thing, I guess I have to be in agreement to that. I might not always be in full agreement, but I like to explain myself and just tell them, could you think of it in this procedure also? Is there a way that we can do what you've chosen, but along the way maybe sway it to thinking of giving these opportunities as well as this? So it's more a negotiating thing, but I'll stick up to what was chosen overall to begin.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Rebecca.
Thank you.
All right. Take a couple minutes and reload. Just make sure we can hear you and you can hear us.
Okay. You'll be able to hear me, I'm not sure that one.
All right, so we actually just have 4 questions for you.
Okay.
Nate's going to start it off.
Oh, that's right. All right, Lori. Why are you running for school board, and what motivates you to want to become a board member, and what has prepared you for this?
Okay. I always say I taught for 105 years in Adams Friendship, and prior to that in Black River Falls and in the Weston School District for a couple of years in Casanova. And prior to that, my dad was a teacher for 42 years in New Lisbon. And so I grew up kind of answering all these in one big lump here. I grew up in a school. I spent all my time at school with my dad. If I wasn't in school myself, I helped him get bulletin boards ready. He was a coach, so I hung around. I spent a lot of time on the basketball court and on the softball field, and learned the ins and outs of school districts before I knew a lot of other things. And I did not want to be a teacher when I graduated from high school. I wanted to be a social worker, and my parents talked me into changing my mind because there was a lot of cuts going on in welfare programs and that type of thing. And so I'm like, what do I want to do? I wanted to work in child welfare. And so what do you do if you want to help kids? Came down to that, and I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to be a kindergarten teacher. I graduated from UW-Stevens Point with a degree in early childhood. I'm certified pre-K through third grade regular ed, and never taught kindergarten. As soon as I got out, I got hired as a special ed teacher. I taught early childhood EN for 8 years, and then the rest of my career was working with what used to be called CDS. I worked with kids from preschool through graduation, 21. And I got to the point, my classroom got to the point where I had 21 students and I had 5 paras, and so it was too much. And so a lot of medical things going on in there too. And so they split the program and put part of it at the high school, and then the middle school, I decided to stay with the little kids. I enjoy the little ones. So back to your question, my whole life has been around to school. Does that answer your question? Yeah. I wanted to be on the school board here because I think that schools are the center of every community. And part of that is probably partial because, like I said, I grew up in a school setting, but I think the school is the most important part. And I've lived here for almost 10 years now. And I retired in 2019, right before COVID. My mother-in-law became ill. I took care of my mother-in-law, my father-in-law until she passed away. That following March was days before COVID hit. Then my father-in-law ended up, he's in a nursing home now, so I helped I'm his social director, that's what he calls me. And I became a COVID tracer for almost 2 years. I always want to help people. So that goes along with that. And this is just my way of giving back to the community and helping in the schools.
Thank you very much for sharing. I appreciate it.
Lori, what do you see as the board's roles and responsibilities? And what is the most important responsibility of the school board?
I've learned a lot speaking with Dr. Whitrock, and my dad was also on the school board after retiring. The school board's job is to make sure that the policies are upheld that the district has, not to micromanage what the teachers are doing or what the other staff members are doing or even what the administration is doing. Just to make sure that she's doing her job and that the administration is following policy. And to me, that is the most important. You know, if we need to write new policies, things come up all the time. Who would have ever thought of COVID or having to do virtual learning for as long as, ever. But so you have to write policy and you may have to do it quickly, depending on what comes up.
Thank you.
How would you describe an effective school board member? Specifically, how can you contribute to a successful board meeting?
Being prepared, making sure that you read what gets sent to you, and if you have questions, ask questions before you come to the meeting. Be open to other people's opinions. This isn't a place to just be, well, I believe this and this is how things are going to be. You have to be open to different ideas. So I think that's a big thing. Listening and being able to change your opinion if need be.
Okay. Our final question is, do you believe you should support a board decision that you are not in favor of? And if so, can you do that?
Oh, absolutely. As a teacher, we get, different items that we have to do and don't always agree with them, but it's part of the job, and that would be part of the job here. Yes, if it's a majority, this is a majority, and if you have a majority that decides that this is the best route for this district, absolutely I would be able to be behind it.
Thank you, Lori.
That's it.
That was quick. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So we just have 4 questions for you. So 2 from over here and 2 from over there. So go ahead.
Okay, first question, Denise. Why are you running for school board, and what motivates you to want to become a board member, and what has prepared you for this?
Okay. Well, I was on the school board in 2009 until 2012, and I really enjoyed my experience. The only reason I really left was because I had too many things going on in my life, and that just was, I had to forego something, and so that was it at the time. So I didn't have any dislike of being on the school board, and as a matter of fact, I think we made some really good decisions during that time. We had Act 10, we had some other challenging situations with the buildings and things. So I really liked it. I like doing research. I like learning new things. I like education in general. It's a part of my fabric. I can't say it any other way. I've been an educator all my life. I think experience-wise, just being on the board and then seeing a 1-year appointment, I thought, well, that's a good way to get reinitiated because I haven't been on for a few years. So even though I follow what you do and follow the decisions and things, I just thought this would be a good way to kind of get my feet wet again. Like I said before, I've been an educator all my life, mostly in higher education, but then I did sub here once I left higher education administration, became a sub and enjoyed that as well. The little ones took a lot of energy out of me though, I'll have to admit. It was a lot. But it opened my eyes to the demographics and the changes that had taken place since my kids were in school here. So again, just really being encouraged by everything that's going on in the district.
Thank you for sharing.
What do you see as the board's roles and responsibilities, and what is the most important responsibility of a school board?
Well, the school board is, it sets policy based on Wisconsin state statutes as its framework, and to provide a free education for the public, K-12. It's probably more than K-12 now, but I know it as a K-12 per statute. So I see our role as policy developers, and what was the other part of the question?
Sure. So what do you see as the board's roles and responsibilities, and what is the most important responsibility of a school board?
Okay, besides setting policy is really providing the framework and to provide the support for instruction and administration to do their jobs, to be able to meet the strategic initiatives that are set, be able to meet our mission. And so I see us as being that place that gives administration and the school district itself the ability to do their jobs. So, and to help them make decisions.
How would you describe an effective school board member? Specifically, how can you contribute to a successful board meeting?
I think it's important to know the mission and the vision and the strategic direction and to be part of that development and to understand what the vision is of the district and why. I think it's important to be involved with the school district at a level that's not interfering with the administration's ability to run, to operationalize policy, but to dip your toes in things so that the community can see that you are interested, that they can see that you are part of being that community, being visible, and also the students and staff. I think it's important that they know that you're not just on the board to provide, or just to listen or maybe provide input, but that you're really engaged with them as a whole. Otherwise, I don't know how we could be effective school board members if we don't have some level of engagement and knowledge that goes beyond just sitting on the Monday night meetings and reading the documents and things. So again, not have enough information to be a little dangerous, but not to interfere with operations, and to trust that the staff does that role and that we provide some guidance when needed.
Okay, Denise, last question. Do you believe you should support a board decision that you are not in favor of? And if so, can you do that?
And not in favor of personally?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I think that our direction as a board needs to be unified. Not that I can't vote no against a policy or something like that, but once a decision is made, I think that then we carry forward as a unified, and to understand why, and to be able to communicate that decision to the public or to whoever might question or ask about that decision. So, and again, there have been, as a board member, I wasn't always, I was able to voice my opinion about things I may not have, agreed with, but all in all, once a decision is made, then we're a unified front, I see, as a board.
Thank you.
That is all we have for you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Do you want usually have Denise go out, or should I bring everybody in? What would you like? Plain Vanna White, what would you like us to do?
Conversation.
I'm sorry.
Do we get to have a conversation?
Yeah. If you'd be agreeable, yeah, sounds like the board would like to be able to have a conversation.
Yeah. Okay.
Comments?
Well, I'm very happy that we got 3 good candidates who all offered good answers to our questions.
Yeah, good questions, David.
Yep.
Good job, Josh.
3 of us served with Denise. And like you do in business, I would rehire her. There's nothing disqualifying for her, just to lay it out there.
Yeah, I was curious because, 2009, 2012, were there big momentous decisions that the board had to face, and how was she as a team member and that kind of thing, just for background?
She was, I found her, I found her a very good board member, and I was actually really quite disappointed when she took a different job and there were too many things going on and she didn't feel she could stay on the board anymore, so.
Did she serve her term, or did she leave her own?
She served her term and then just said, but I can't run again. Because as I remember it, and I could be wrong, she had just taken a job in higher education in the Fox Valley, so life was a whole lot busier for her all of a sudden.
She was working on her doctorate at the time too.
Yeah, that's right.
It was taking a lot of her time.
I thought they each had really great points. Rebecca had definitely her motivation, and that was really inspiring. I like that Lori kept saying she was raised in a school. I was like literally raised in a school. So.
And I might have missed it when Lori was talking, but it was right around the time COVID started. She moved to Ripon, correct?
She said she's been here 10 years.
10 years, okay, I missed that then, okay.
I think that's probably when she retired from teaching, maybe, because she was taking care of her in-laws. I don't have any questions about any of them. So I have a personal choice, but I think that's what it comes down to for everybody now.
So I've never been part of the board when we do this. Do we vote before they come, or do we vote when they're here in front of them? How
No, we
does-
can just vote now.
Okay.
Then we'll bring them back in and announce the results.
We've done this before. I remember.
Yes, a few times.
That's this one?
I think we have 2 people on the board who came through this process.
Oh, yeah, this is true. But
I was.
well, I guess we did.
Wasn't this intestable?
Oh. Thanks, Josh. I came this way. Josh said, well, I don't know. Gary too?
I also wasn't
That
on the board
happened in
either.
between the election and the,
That was Amy's weird.
yes, because you took Amy's seat. So it was between the election and before I was officially on the board.
Because you were part of that election.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a tie. Okay, so right now the vote is a tie vote, 4-4 for Denise and Lori, so we will have to re-vote.
This happened.
We need to re-vote? Okay.
Pardon?
We need another board member.
Yes. Right? Maybe we should say 2? So, somebody needs to find a reason for
I know, I was
somebody
like,
else.
so
So
we're just
I'm
gonna-
not immediately asking you to vote. Is there anything else somebody would like to say? We did this once for chair of the annual meeting. I don't remember, were you around, Mary? We had a tie vote for the annual meeting, and then somebody came in, and we thought, good, that'll settle it, but then somebody else came in, and we had another tie vote. And then we had people changing their votes, but they were changing it in both directions, and we still had a tie
I think
vote.
it was,
So do our more senior board members remember, did Denise run for her seat?
She did.
Yes, she did.
Okay. That's compelling to me. The people of Ripon have already had an opportunity to vote for Denise. They voted for Denise. That carries a great deal of weight with me, that she has already been affirmed by our community in an election.
That's a good point.
Yeah, it is.
While I do agree with that point, Betsy, I would also say I think there is value in providing opportunity to folks who haven't had that opportunity before.
Yeah.
And sometimes we can be better for that.
Yeah, I think she brings a different perspective. She's not from here, but she's had educational experiences throughout the area. She clearly is a very passionate person about education, and I mean, she even like the role of the board and what our role is, what she could bring to that role. It was all very well thought out, clearly coming with some experience. I think that would be good for us.
Any other comments? We'll give it a second try.
Yeah.
So I have 4 votes for Lori Mockmuller,
3 votes for Denise Martinez and 1 abstain.
All right, Lori is the new member of the board.
We'll go bring them in, okay?
So it was a very close vote. We required 2 votes actually, but in the end, Lori has been chosen the new
Oh,
board
thank
member.
you. Thank you. I appreciate
I would
it.
encourage anybody interested to consider running, as we've had a shortage of candidates for the board, and it's really nice to see 3 of you interested in filling this position.
That's awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Lori.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'll be in touch with you, Lori, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Good night, thank
Take
you.
care.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Welcome, it's so nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Lori. Welcome to the board.
Now I know you're not just your picture of the hospital.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.